You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here to hang out with us on Vocal Technologist, although I feel like I need to start with a disclaimer. By the time I even finish this sentence, like 3 new AI models have probably been released.
Oh, for sure. I think I saw a benchmark drop just while you were taking a breath there. It is absolutely relentless.
I believe it. Look, today is technically Tech Tuesday. Doesn't matter what day it is for you, in our hearts, it's Tech Tuesday. And that means we are just focused squarely on web dev, engineering trends, and, well, the absolute chaos of the software world right now.
Chaos is a very polite word for it. I'd call it a very expensive, very fast experiment where we're all sort of building the future and breaking the present at the same time.
Exactly. And I'm glad you're here to walk us through it, because I'm the guy who copies from Stack Overflow and just, hopes for the best. You're the one who actually reads the documentation.
Well, somebody has to read the manual, right? Otherwise, it's just spaghetti code and very, very angry sysadmins.
Touche. Okay, so let's get into what we're looking at today. We have some wild stories. We're talking about a team of AI agents that spent $20,000 building a compiler, a single emoji that brought a whole web dashboard to its knees, which is my favorite story this week, and why open source AI agents might just be leaving your digital front door wide open.
It's a mix of the incredibly impressive and the, frankly, terrifyingly fragile.
Let's start with impressive. Or maybe expensive is the better word. Let's talk about Anthropic and Claude Opus 4.6. This feels big.
It really is. This is a headline story for a reason. Anthropic didn't just, ask a chatbot to write some code. They set up a team of 16 parallel agents.
16. That's not a script. That's like a small engineering department.
It is. And the goal was, it was monumental. They wanted these agents to autonomously build a Rust-based C compiler.
Okay, a compiler. In Rust.
Yes, and one capable of compiling the entire Linux kernel. And I want to just pause on how hard that is.
I have not tried to write a compiler lately, no. I still struggle to center a div.
Right. Well, Rust is famous for its borrow checker. It's incredibly strict about memory safety, which is good, but it just screams at you if you get anything wrong. You can't just, hallucinate your way through it.
So 16 agents. How did that even work? Were they all just shouting at each other?
No, and this is the really clever part. They used a concept called sub-agent theory. It's basically just good project management for AI. You have a scout agent whose only job is to go find the right files, the right context.
Okay, so that's the researcher.
Exactly. Then you have an implementer who actually writes the code. And, crucially, a verifier agent who runs the tests.
And tells the implementer when it screws up.
Pretty much. So it's simulating a real dev team. You have the junior dev, the senior dev doing review, the whole thing.
And the stats on this are just insane.
Absolutely. It took 2 weeks of continuous work. It cost $20,000 in API credits.
20 grand.
But the result was a 100,000-line compiler that successfully builds Linux 6.9 on by86, ARM, and even RISC-V.
Wait, RISC-V, that's the open source chip architecture, right?
That's the one. The rival to the chips in your phone. For an AI to target that correctly with zero human help is just huge.
Okay, but hold on. $20,000. That sounds like a lot for API credits. But if you hired 16 human compiler engineers for 2 weeks...
You would be paying way, way more than 20 grand. This is the big shift we're seeing. It's not about chatbot anymore. It's about workforce.
But it's not just Anthropic in this space. We have to talk about OpenAI's GPT-5.3 gate codex.
Right, and the version numbers are getting a little out of control, but this one is significant. It's running about 25% faster, and when you have agents talking to agents, speed is everything.
They have a native macOS app now.
Yeah, the Codex app, which is big because it takes these long-running tasks off the browser and onto your desktop, and we're seeing it elsewhere too. Xcode 26.3 is adding agentic coding right into the IDE.
So this isn't just for command line wizards anymore. This is coming for everyone.
It's becoming part of the standard workflow, a colleague that just lives in your code editor.
That is both incredibly cool and a little unnerving, which actually is a perfect transition to our Grumpy Dev Corner.
There's always something to talk about in the Grumpy Dev Corner.
If AI is so smart, why are our tools still so annoying? There's this article going around. The title is basically, GitHub Actions is killing your engineering team.
Yeah, that was a heavy one, but it really struck a chord with people. It's about this pain point with CI/CD tools. GitHub Actions is the default for so many people because it's convenient, it's right there, but the user experience is rough.
The logs are a nightmare, right?
The log viewers are unreliable. They just freeze or cut things off. But the biggest complaint is the YAML syntax.
Oh, YAML. The dark art of making sure your spaces are correct.
Exactly. It's so sensitive. You spend more time fighting with the configuration file than doing the actual work. It's this push and pray cycle.
Right. You change one space, push it, wait 5 minutes for the Cloud Runner to spin up.
Just for it to fail and you have to start all over. It's a total flow killer. It's a classic case of convenience over usability.
Speaking of things that should just work but don't, tell me about the heart emoji. This story is just perfect.
This is such a great example of how fragile everything still is. So a team has this web dashboard. All of a sudden, it's 10 times slower, just unusable.
And you immediately think, okay, bad database query. Someone pushed some terrible code.
That's what they thought. They did a binary search, turning things off one by one. They even used Claude to help analyze the performance data. And the culprit wasn't the database. It wasn't the back-end logic. It was a single heart emoji.
No, you're joking. One emoji.
One emoji. Specifically, it was the Noto color emoji Google font.
Ah, fonts. The silent performance killers.
On Apple platforms, in Safari, the rendering engine had to use this really slow SVG fallback path just for that emoji. The layout process in the browser, the part that draws the pixels, was eating 94% of the CPU.
94% to draw a heart.
To draw one specific curvy heart.
That's just incredible. You've got AI writing a Linux compiler in the cloud, and one heart emoji can destroy a dashboard on a Mac.
It's a very humbling reminder that under all this abstraction, we're still just dealing with fonts and browser quirks. The basics can still bite you.
Speaking of basics and bottlenecks, let's talk about Recall.ai. They had a really interesting post about Postgres.
Right. Recall.ai, they do all those meeting bots that join your Zoom calls. They record millions of meetings, and their problem was huge connection delays, like 10 to 15 seconds just to connect to their database.
That's an eternity. I'm gone after like 3 seconds if a page doesn't load.
It is. The issue is really deep in Postgres' architecture. There's this main process called the postmaster.
It's a postmaster.
Think of it like a bouncer at a club. It's the single process that handles all new incoming connections and assigns them to a worker.
And the bouncer was too slow.
The bouncer was overwhelmed because that postmaster process is single-threaded.
Wait, really? In this day and age? Single-threaded?
For that one specific job, yeah. It's legacy. So when thousands of meetings all start at the top of the hour, like 9 a.m., their database was hit with this massive burst of connections all at once. The single-threaded bouncer just couldn't keep up.
It's the thundering herd problem.
Yeah.
Everyone trying to get through one door at the same time.
Exactly. And their fix was pretty clever. They just added jitter. Randomization. So instead of everyone connecting at 9.0.0000 exactly, they spread it out over a few seconds, 9.00.01, 9.00.2. It was enough to let the bouncer keep up.
That's smart. Okay, so we've covered failing infrastructure. Let's talk about security, or as I like to call it, the Wild West of open source agents.
This is where all the excitement about AI runs headfirst into, well, reality. We have to talk about OpenClaw.
Which used to be called ClaudeBot, right?
Right. So OpenClaw is an open source agent platform. You run it on your own machine, and it uses a headless browser to, click around the web for you.
Yeah.
People are positioning it as what Apple Intelligence should have been, a real assistant.
That sounds great. Until you remember you're giving a bot total control of your computer.
And your network. Security researchers found over 4,500 exposed instances of it.
Exposed? What do you mean exposed?
Just
open to the internet. Accessible via a public IP address. People were running these things without a firewall. It's a backdoor for a total system takeover.
So anyone could just tell your agent what to do.
Yep. Prompt injection, session theft. The agent has your browser cookies, right?
Yeah.
So people are losing their WhatsApp and Discord tokens because they left the AI assistant with the keys to the kingdom and the front door unlocked.
That is terrifying. It's one thing for me to click a phishing link. It's another for a robot to do it for me automatically.
Exactly. And it's not just individuals. Look at the Moltbook breach.
Ah, yes, the AI social network. This story is just something else.
Moltbook claimed to have 1.5 million AI agents. But researchers found their Supabase database was misconfigured. They forgot to turn on row-level security.
Which means what exactly? It means if you have the key to the database, you can see everything. Every single row. Not just your data.
Oh, no.
It exposed 1.5 million API keys and 35,000 emails. But here's the twist. It wasn't really 1.5 million agents. It was only about 17,000 human owners running huge fleets of bots.
So a bot farm posting as a social network.
Pretty much.
Man.
And it gets to this idea of vibe coding.
What's vibe coding?
Building something with AI because the vibe feels right, but you don't actually understand the underlying security. You can ask an AI to build me a social network, but if you don't know to ask for row-level security, the AI might not add it.
You built the feature, but you forgot the lock. And speaking of low-quality AI output, GitHub is apparently just drowning in it.
The AI slop crisis, yeah.
Whoa.
GitHub is getting flooded with these garbage AI-generated pull requests. It's just spam, bots submitting meaningless changes, like fixing a typo that isn't there just to make a profile look active.
It's like the new email spam, just trying to game the algorithm to get those green squares on your contribution graph.
Totally. And it's gotten so bad that GitHub is now rolling out features to let repos disable PRs entirely or restrict them just to stop the noise, which hurts real contributors.
It really does. And before we move on, we have to mention the Notepad++ attack, just to make sure no one sleeps tonight.
Briefly, yeah. A classic supply chain nightmare. From June to October of 2025, the update infrastructure for Notepad++, a tool millions of devs use, was compromised.
For months.
For months. If you downloaded an update in that window, you might have gotten malware. It just proves that you can't trust anything. The tool you trust gets hacked, and then they pass the hack on to you.
Okay, that was all pretty heavy. Let's end on a positive note. Let's talk about passion projects and the actual joy of engineering. Humans can still do cool things with these tools, right?
Humans are doing incredible things.
Yeah.
Take the resurrection of the game Crimson Land.
Oh, from 2003. I played that game. The top-down shooter, total chaos.
That's the one. A developer decided to reverse engineer it. They used Ghidra.
That's the NSA's tool, right?
Yeah, the NSA's open source reverse engineering tool. They paired that with GPT-5.2 and Codex. And the AI wasn't just writing code, it was helping decipher the compiled machine code. It was like a translator for a dead language.
So it was turning like function 004 into something understandable.
Exactly, into drawnomy. The result was a pixel-perfect, behaviorally identical rewrite of the game. It's like AI archaeology.
That's so cool. But I think my favorite hacker story of the week is the 40-year-old dongle.
This is just pure old-school hacking. A developer needed to run accounting software from the Windows 98 era, and it needed a physical hardware dongle.
I remember those things. Plugged into the parallel port. If you lost it, you were just out of luck.
Well, he didn't have a working one, so he reverse-engineered the assembly code, found the routine that was checking for a magic number from the dongle.
The secret password from the hardware.
And he just patched the executable to give itself the number, bypass the whole thing. It's a great reminder that it's all just bytes at the end of the day.
It is all just ones and zeros. But sometimes, those ones and zeros have to deal with the real world. You wanted to talk about the brighter lamp story.
Yeah, I think this is a necessary reality check for all of us in software. An engineer tried to ship a hardware product, a lamp, just 500 units.
500 doesn't sound like a lot.
In hardware, it's a mountain. He ran into terahytes, manufacturing errors, bad heat sinks, faulty wiring.
You can't just push a patch for a bad heatsink.
That is the takeaway. We ship a bug, we can deploy a fix 5 minutes later. If your lamp has bad wiring, you have a fire hazard sitting in someone's house.
And a very expensive recall.
It's a humbling reminder that atoms are much, much harder than bits. There's no Control-Z in the physical world.
So after all that, what does this all mean?
I think we're in this really weird moment. On one hand, you have AI that is smart enough to write a Linux compiler in 2 weeks. That's objectively amazing.
It is. It's science fiction becoming reality.
But on the other hand, a single emoji can still crash a browser. Our security is a mess because of open source bots with no firewalls. And we're still fighting 40-year-old copy protection dongles.
The highest of high-tech and the lowest of low-tech all crashing into each other.
Exactly. And it tells me that while the tools are getting insanely powerful, the fundamentals, security, performance, physics, they matter more than ever. You can't just let the agents run wild if you don't understand what they're doing.
Well, I was going to let 16 agents rewrite my entire code base while I took a nap, but maybe I'll hold off on that.
Probably a good call. Maybe start with a small script first. And, check the logs.
Fair enough. Well, that about wraps up our tour through the chaos of modern engineering.
It's been a pleasure.
Keep your YAML simple, keep your emojis in check, and for the love of code, please check your firewall rules. This has been The Vocal Technologist. We'll see you next time.
Spoken Tech for your ears.